Hello ladies and gentlemen, and as always, thank you for watching. Today Ethan and I are on the road. We've been on the road since about 5 o'clock this morning. We have a very long drive. We are here at the Eaton Proving Grounds test track. Is this it? I'm assuming that's what it looks like the pictures.
That's the custom paint job they give you and everything.
Okay, cool.
Don't believe yours has been done yet.
I mean, normally you can feel 60,000 pounds behind you. Yeah. But you don't on this. And the fact that I'm not wearing my shoulder out shifting.
It's nice, ain't it?
Here is a heavy haul truck that we'll possibly get to drive later. It also has the Eaton Endurant XD Pro 18 speed. This is their test track. We're supposed to get to be able to drive and test it on various grades, turns. They've got it loaded down with steel plates, crates full of gears and stuff. I don't remember the exact weight. I'll find out from Ken here in a little bit, but it's supposed to represent an actual heavy haul truck, so an accurate representation. So we'll see. Well, I'm here to give an unbiased opinion. So
One of you can drive first before you'll ride the passenger.
I'll drive first.
I figured.
Driving the big heavy haul. Okay. New truck, I gotta get
You almost don't know how to drive an automatic.
familiarize myself with the truck first.
Yeah, I'll give you the rundown on how it works. So, two-pedal system. This truck is configured with what we call auto launch, or urge to move. So as soon as you take your foot off the brake pedal in a drive mode, it'll start closing the clutch and then essentially go to clutch lockup at engine idle speed. So just like you would let your foot off the clutch in a manual and then just sit there and idle around, this does the same thing. Okay. As soon as you apply the accel pedal, you increase engine speed, it starts shifting by itself. The mode selector here is reverse, neutral, drive. There's a manual mode, so if you go to drive and then push this button, you get a little N in your gear display. Right. It means you're in manual, you have full control over when and how it shifts. Okay. You have a low mode, which you hold this stock down for a few seconds. It switches to low, you get an L in your gear display. That means when you're driving, it downshifts to the lowest gear physically possible whenever it can. So if you're coming off the interstate and really want a lot of engine braking, you put it in low mode, or they have a feature called max mode. So we'll put it back into drive.
So anytime you take it to neutral and back into drive, it takes it out of the mode it was in?
Yes, and goes back into
goes back into
mode.
standard.
Yep.
So it's even got engine torque percent too?
Yep. Yeah, that's just a signal broadcast from the engine, and they put it on the dash now. The engine brake settings, so you have an indicator here, so you're in level 3, 2, 1, off. And then that max mode I was talking about, if you're coming off, this is what I really like, coming off the expressway, you hit an off ramp, you pull it down, it won't show it, well, we'll show it right now.
Gotcha.
It'll say max, and that it kind of puts it into this temporary load mode, so it gets really aggressive with downshifting to slow you down.
Understood.
And then as soon as you push the accel pedal or decrease your engine brake again, it exits out of max mode.
Okay.
So I'll show you when we're driving. It's much easier to understand.
Okay. So where's the roll to?
Yep, we're gonna have to back up. This is a one-way oval, so we're gonna go down this side road. Okay. And then make a U-turn and get on our oval. So as long as people are behind us, good.
Nobody else is moving. Nobody's even in the trucks. Except for Roberts.
Wow, that was smooth.
That's something I worked on for a long time.
super smooth.
So they're
what are we weighing right now, gross?
145.
145.
So you got 6 reverse gears. It selects R1 by default. That's configurable. So if you want it to go to R3 by default, you can tell it to do that, and we can update your truck to do it.
No, that's fine. At 145, that's roughly what we would be doing, towing a truck behind us.
Yep.
You know, there's if we had a standard tow truck hauling an 80,000 pound load, you know, 145 is not out of the question for us. So
Right. So the first 3 reverse gears are very close together. So if you were to button up to R2, you're just maybe half mile an hour faster, and you can do it while it's moving, or you can come to a stop. And then we have what we call high range reverse, which is R4, 5, and 6. Those are like 25 miles an hour backwards. So if you got a real long back to a guy when you're hooking to him, you can get to him, and you got like a 2 mile back to him.
Okay.
So as it's shifting, it's learning, calculating how much we weigh right now.
Right.
So by now we've learned, it's learned that we weigh 145,000 pounds.
Right.
And then with that information, it adjusts how and when it shifts. So we'll go past this one and then to the next one. There's a turnaround there.
Oh, so that's that little water pit I saw in that video, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, the dump truck crashing through it.
I was hoping we'd get to do something like that. That'd be fun.
And we are officially starting the track. And they said 15 mile an hour by the office, right? Is that
Yep, when
correct?
we're coming off. But on the oval, we can do 50 in the curves, 60 on the straights.
Okay, so
this
turn left.
Yep, we'll go left just like a racetrack, like a
Okay.
NASCAR track.
NASCAR in a semi.
Yeah. Left turn.
Little
And another
slower.
left turn.
Clyde. Another left turn.
So the curves are a little intimidating the first time around, but you'll get used to them.
This would be fun on a motorcycle.
Yeah. You can't tell that we're at 145,000 pounds.
Isn't it amazing?
It's awesome.
So we have 2 shift call them performance goals that you can change between on the fly. Right now it's in what we call performance mode. A secondary mode, the way this one's set up is it has a standard mode, so it's kind of in the middle between full economy and full performance. So if you think it's revving them out too high, you can flip into standard mode and it'll tame it down a little bit. We also have an off-road mode and a tanker mode for those guys that want to go off-road or pull liquid tankers around.
Now, didn't they say there was also the mode where it would roll itself back and forward to get itself out of a rut?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
You'll experience that in a couple other trucks. This one doesn't have it set up right now, I don't think. Oh, it does. But I don't feel like getting this one stuck.
Yeah, let's not get this one stuck.
The straight trucks will be a better demo for that.
7557.
Where's this? They said there's like a 8% grade.
Yeah, we'll go there next. So on the oval, if you want, you can come to a stop in the straightaways and do light throttle accelerations, full throttle accelerations, whatever you'd like. And then as soon as you're sick of the oval, just let me know and we can go over to the large grades.
Alright, so I'm going to let off the throttle. The engine brake kicks in.
Oh, I wish it was straight pipe.
Do what?
Said I wish it was straight pipe. That would be beautiful.
So do I.
And so far I've not hit the brake. This is all just engine brake.
If you're gonna stop, just go over to that inside lane.
We crashed! No, we didn't. Just a camera crash. Where's suction cup? Yep, probably need to put it in.
Yep, so that was auto neutral, that ding.
Yep.
The transmission will put itself in neutral as soon as it sees this switch through.
Okay. That's the.
Okay.
This is the.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
the flatbed, the fake rotator.
The fake rotator.
The fake
yep.
rotator. Yep. All right, here we go.
The
Hard
fo-
acceleration. Let's go.
You can call it the
Get this
photator.
145. Moving.
Dad, you're gonna be sad I said that and caught it on camera, but you didn't hear it.
It's a photator?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you.
That's a good one.
Alright, inside lane, we're limited to 35s. We got the Roberts truck coming up on the outside behind us, so we'll stay on the inside. Man, you still just cannot believe that we're pulling 145.
Feels like it's pulling better than our rotator does. With
Yeah.
no load.
And it's not throwing my shoulder out and switching gears all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ethan, I'll let you, I know you're itching to drive.
I'm always itching to drive.
Alright, we're going to go into max mode. That's max on the engine. Alright. I like that max.
Yeah, it makes when you're. I really like it for coming off of expressway, or if the light turns red on you real quick.
Hey, you are.
Alright, so Ethan's gonna.
I'm already confused because I just reached for a clutch
Yeah, I know.
and a shifter.
Alright, seatbelt.
Neither one are there.
Seatbelt first, please. There you go. Now the trailer brake's already released. Just push in the yellow tractor brake. You're good to go. Foot on the brake.
Foot on the brake.
Foot on the brake. Turn it to drive. Take foot off the brake and put it on the accelerator.
Does not feel right.
And you're moving with I know it doesn't feel right. And you're moving with 145,000 pounds gross weight.
And yeah, it's still pulling just as easy as the rotator.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Well, feeling the way this is, I don't think it'd have any issue.
I don't either.
Because I'm starting to believe more where y'all put the unlimited for the max weight on it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that what they were talking about last night during the reception? Somebody had a, what is it, 290,000 pound? Is that their?
I think the limit.
260, I believe. is what they
260,
said.
yeah. Or
Okay.
258, I think is the real number. Yeah.
258,000 was the what it's actually pulled so far.
Yep. I've had this truck at 250 on that big grade over there, which is where we're going next.
Wow.
And it is a lot of weight.
Then you just take your foot off the throttle and it kicks the engine brake in and helps slow you down. You don't have to use the foot brake.
Yep. And if you want it less aggressive or more aggressive, you just turn that brake up and down.
That's right here.
Yep.
Nope.
So it is.
Yes. Sorry.
Yep. So what spec is your rotator?
It's a Miller spec. We have an ISX 550 horse with an 18 speed manual.
What chassis?
Peterbilt. It's a Peterbilt 389X.
Nice.
All Miller spec. Now let off and just let it do its thing.
So this engine brake makes about 650 horse. On the power side, it's like I said, 605 2050 foot-pounds.
That's kind of weird, like how smooth it is on the pedal too, because anytime that it clutch engages, it just kind of floats and you don't get a huge rib or anything.
And this is a Cummins, did you say?
Yep, this is Cummins 15 liter X15.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Those were the older school DIDs, driver interface devices, what we call them. They've moved to these right-hand stalks now, and they're much easier to use from a driver perspective because you don't have to take your eyes off the road when you're.
How smooth that was stopping with 145,000 and taking off.
Well, whenever I pulled up to stop earlier, I didn't even touch the brakes until the like 5 mile an hour, if that.
Yeah.
It's unreal. I can't imagine the amount of man hours you guys have put into developing this.
It's been a few. So that's what we call coast down mode. So just like if you were in a manual, you're rolling up to a stop sign, you don't downshift to first gear. You just kind of roll up.
I mean, this is so natural. I'm already accustomed to it. I mean, it's just.
2880 exit in turn 3.
Well, it's easier to drive than my car.
It's so user friendly. I mean, you forget you're in a truck. There we go. All right.
Just like it's supposed to.
So now this is the.
So this is the large grades area.
Large grade.
Yep. So on this, so we have a hill that we built in the middle. On this side, it's a 15% grade for 300 feet. It'll bring us from 30 miles an hour down to like 6 going over the top. And on the back side is an 8% grade. That's 500 feet long. So it's just these big loops going back and forth. You can go up and down them as many times as you want.
Bring that over, use it as an anchor. You ain't going nowhere with that.
Okay, foot's flat on the floor, just letting it do its thing. But remember, we've got 145,000 pounds here.
This is 15% grade, so it's about twice as steep what you'd see on any interstate in the U.S.
All on its own.
I'm sorry for the video quality. I'm trying to get you as many angles as I can.
No, it's
and
fine,
like,
bud.
get the actual steepness of this.
Then you
at
let
the same
off,
time.
and you go max on the.
Yep, and at the bottom we're going to take a left. So on this one, I'll have you stop on the grade, and we'll show you launching right from a dead stop.
Like right here.
Yeah,
From that
right when
yellow.
you get up on the grade here. So we have a feature called Hill Start Aid. So if you bring it to a complete stop, take your foot off the brake, and move it to the accel pedal, we should not roll back.
Yeah, my foot is off of both pedals, and it's crawling forward on its own.
Yep.
Just barely.
No rollback.
Foot is, yeah, it didn't roll back. Here, I'll stop again, Ethan. Yep.
Yep. So bring it to a
Fully
complete stop.
stopped.
Yep.
My foot's coming off the brake, no roll. Foot on the accelerator, and it just starts taking off. 8% grade, 145,000 pounds. That is unreal. Feel that torque.
Yeah,
Feel that torque.
I'm almost falling backwards over here. I'm trying to sit on the edge of the bed and I'm just sliding around.
Take it on max on that 15%. Oh,
You're not on it?
Yeah, you gotta be off the pedal.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. That's okay. So you'll probably overrun the engine brake on this one.
Yep.
So you have to give her some service around.
Coolant temp at 201. It ain't even doing too bad on that.
Still on a 15% grade with 145, I want to be controlled going down.
So
Is that the high engine RPM thing you were talking about?
So
That's cool.
That protects the engine from spinning bearings, things like that. So if you exceed about 2,400 RPM, this thing will automatically upshift and then not float valves and do damage to the engine.
Okay. And that's all programmed through the transmission, though,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Okay. And how many axles we got on the trailer?
We got 8 on the trailer, 4 on the truck.
So we're running 12 axles. Not all of them are on the ground right now, though, because we're not pushing full capacity.
Well, we're close to what would be legal on a public road.
Okay.
We're not pushing the limits of the axles though. We got 30,000 pound axles on the trailer,
Okay.
and then this has got a 52,000 pound tandem set with a 20K pusher and a 20K steer.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, he's good. He'll run that flat size 14 through the floor. Just keep it there. It'll do it.
Looks like
15% is
7's your gear.
yeah. 15% is one heck of a grade now. Then you cross over and you take your foot off and just let it.
You can bring her right to a stop and do a reverse launch on it too, and you can see the HSA
Yeah, like
feature do that. So if you guys are backing up a grade to a,
Ooh, okay.
truck or trying
That'll
to
be
get a
cool.
truck into a spot.
Now there's nobody else on this track right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
It was closed off.
So same thing, just take your foot off and it should go backwards for us.
My
Backwards,
foot is off the gas.
up, an 8% grade backwards
Yep.
from a
But
dead
No
stop.
foot on the pedal.
From a dead stop.
That's pretty.
That's amazing. All right.
And it just.
All right.
Still not having to do anything.
Well, your gravity's taking control now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you turned your engine brake down. You're on setting 2. You pull the stick down one more, you'll be on what I consider the high, and then you have one max. When you go down that other side, that 15%, you'll probably want it on the max. Okay, so is this available as a swap out, say from a current manual into an existing over-the-road truck?
I don't think, we don't advertise it that way.
Okay.
It's extremely difficult to do because the transmission, it's not just a transmission swap at that point. You have to change your engine, thrust bearings, your rear flywheel housing. The entire brake system has to change to be able to use that HSA feature I was explaining.
Okay, all right.
Stop on the other.
Okay,
You stop anywhere you'd like. So the transmission sees that we're on a grade now, and it picks a lower gear. And then if you wanted to really control things, all you have to do is button down a gear, button back up a gear.
And that was this way.
Yep, yeah, up and down like that. So like that.
First gear, second
Yep.
gear.
And then if you want to go up a gear, you can go to manual. It'll go to 3rd gear for you. But drive mode says 2nd gear is your gear.
That's amazing that it starts out in 2nd gear with 145.
I was thinking that same thing. That's kind of
And it'll learn your guys' truck spec too. So even if we have this axle in low, so 560 rather than 410, which is what we're in right now, it would probably pick either 3rd or 4th gear to start on this grade.
Okay.
Because it knows we've got more reduction in the rear end to use.
I didn't think they put 2-speed rear ends in trucks anymore.
They're hard to come by. Some of the heavy haul guys like to use them for when they get real heavy. They'll put it in low.
All right.
And then save some fuel when they're.
You're gonna have to put your foot on the brake coming down on this one, and then fold your stick down to put it in max. There you go.
Is that just shifting 2 gears at a time?
Yeah, it'll go up to 5, depending on what conditions are. So from a dead stop, when you were on the oval, it was doing a 2 to 6 shift to start when you were full throttle.
Huh.
And then it did like a 6 to 9 shift, and then a 9 to 11, 11 to 13. And then sometimes at this weight, we probably wouldn't do that 13 to 15 shift, but if we were like an 80,000 pound truck.
Turn left.
So it skip shifts gears readily.
Still doesn't feel like we're in a semi with a 53-foot trailer and 145,000 pounds. It just very deceptive, pleasingly deceptive.
So one of the things that's kind of neat, I'll show you real quick before you guys hop out. I use this in traffic quite a bit. So if you're stuck in a traffic jam, just take your foot off the brake and let it creep. So she's in 3rd gear, clutch locked about right now. Say we were slowing down, someone's going down below us, you can button down to 1st, slow down, you button back up to 3rd, and it takes back off.
I wish my truck had that.
And you go to 5th.
The transmission's way smarter than I am.
Yeah. I think this one should go to 6th.
That's great.
And your foot's off the pedal, right?
Not on either one of them.
Yeah, we call these creep shifts.
That's right there.
Yep.
We call these creep shifts, so you're just creeping along right on the engine idle governor.
Cool. All right. Corey, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Guys, we appreciate you coming out, having fun.
Oh yeah, this is a blast. Hopefully we're not done.
No, there's plenty more trucks to drive.
Sweet. Put her in neutral. Yep. Of course it does it automatically, but you got to get in the habit of doing it.
I'm still trying to get used to that.
I know. No
Every time I come to a stop, I try to reach.
no shifter. That is weird, I know. All right. Let's move on to the next. Again, thank you, Corey. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll see you at lunch.
Ethan's gonna go tow the dump truck, and I'm sorry, my name's Ron.
Eric.
Eric, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Eric's gonna show us the rock out feature. I'm old school. I was hesitant about the automatics. We've got 2 in the fleet now, not anything like this. I mean, this is totally different than what we've got, and this is just blows it away what we've got. I don't drive a dump truck, I drive a tow truck, but there's a lot of places where we have to go that, you know, obviously people have gone and that shouldn't have been there and they get stuck.
Yeah.
So this feature could be pretty cool for us.
We asked you being the tow truck, you don't want to be the guy getting stuck either.
No. Well, I have been. You know,
It happens, I'm sure.
it does happen. I mean, tow truck has to call a tow truck every now and then. It does happen.
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen, but it does.
That makes for a longer day, I'm sure.
It does, and it makes for a little bit of embarrassment, but it's life. It happens. I'm not going to sit over here and tell you I haven't ever done it, because I have. Ooh, that looks like a fun hill.
Yeah, it's a 60% grade.
Ooh.
So we don't take those over there. These over there.
I would say not.
That's back when they did, I think, a long time ago, doing some testing for military vehicles.
Okay.
But right now, there's 2 performance goals
Okay.
in this truck. I think most of our trucks today had 2. This one's set up for the primary one is in performance, and then the secondary is
Off-road.
Off-road.
Yep. That's what we were talking about at the round table this morning.
Okay.
Because Miller was trying to see if they could get it set up to where all the transmissions were spec'd with those 2 as, and they were talking, you know, how that would probably have to be done at the, manufacturer's level.
That'd be probably the best place. Yeah.
Right.
So the drive around here, we're hard pack around. You don't really need to be off highway, but to get into it, you just pull up the stalk for 4 seconds,
Okay.
and then you'll see it'll show C2 right here
Okay,
on
all
the gear display.
All right. So you're in the second configuration.
Secondary, which again, this truck's off highway. So this one's set up really to, you know, minimize your shifting. You know, if you're in a manual
Okay.
truck off road,
Right,
you don't
right.
want to shift a lot.
Right.
So we're using the torque curve. You know, this engine in this truck has full torque down to 1,000 RPM, I believe.
Okay.
So you're really trying to, you know, use that, and you don't have to shift these little kind of rolling hills. Just use the torque, get up and over the hill, and, you know, kind of keep doing your job. If you had the performance goal in here, it may cause you a little more hunting as you're kind of on these real undulating roads.
Okay.
And also, you're a lot less likely to skip shift here. And also, you're probably likely to take single steps.
Okay.
Which that way, you know, you're out of gear less time. You know, so less likely to stop your momentum or have to relaunch the truck. And we also learn the terrain a lot faster in this mode.
Okay.
So you guys didn't see it today, but like our sand pit. So we'll drive through that. And our goal is you get into that, we want to start not shifting. You know, in a sand pit where you're up to your hubs and sand type stuff.
Right. You want to stay in the same gear so that it plows through.
Right.
Or powers through, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, with one of our other trucks, we end up plowing sometimes, so it'll motor. It's a tri-drive.
Okay.
It'll motor right through there. But the big thing too is once you get out of that condition, you want to get back to shifting. So once you get out of the sand pit, back on the gravel road, we learn quickly to say, okay, we're off this, you know, high friction surface. Let's get back into, you know, shifting.
Okay, so you're saying the transmission can actually detect the type of terrain that it's on.
Correct. Yeah, we're constantly learning. You know, we know the grade. We learn the mass. We learn the rolling resistance, the aerodynamics of the truck.
Okay.
We can learn all these things throughout the drive cycle.
That is just, I mean, that's amazing to me.
And it's honestly one of our more complicated functions.
You definitely don't want to hit that at 15 mile an hour, do you?
That you'd be going for a ride. So this is kind of a case where, you know, it helps simulate a little bit. You'd be able to rock in, so or rock out of where we are. So right now we're in drive.
Yep. And you're in.
Robert's record exiting. We have in our truck, this is hardwired. It can either be hardwired or it could be a can switch.
Okay.
Like the VECU on the truck. So what you do is you enable rock free. You just flip the switch. We'll go into first gear automatically, your lowest start gear.
Okay.
You are able to raise the gear. So first gear is good for sand, mud, things like that.
Okay.
If you're on snow or ice, a lot of times you want a higher start gear.
Right.
So when we're in the rock free mode, you let your foot off the brake, the urge to move is disabled when you're in this.
Okay.
So
it rocks.
We're just kind of free.
It goes backwards.
We weren't all the way in the. Let me get us into the.
But basically, it disengages the clutch, and just like you were pushing your foot on the clutch in a manual transmission.
Yeah. And now, so you can think of the accelerator pedal as the clutch pedal. You know, the manual. So as you hit it, it'll kind of we'll close the clutch aggressively, and you can let off the clutch aggressively. Okay. And the idea is just try to rock back and forth, either forward or reverse. And we're kind of doing this, and the idea is you want to just kind of make a little path, and you kind of just work your way in whatever material you're in to get enough momentum to be able to go forward.
Okay, gotcha.
And you can do this as a forward, you can go right into reverse. You can transfer from.
Does the rock free work in reverse as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So same thing.
So if you get yourself into a situation, you might be able to back out.
Right.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, or you may have to go forward for a little while and then back up a little bit.
Yep,
and
get a run at it,
Yeah, and then once you get enough momentum to go, you can just kind of, get out of where you are.
So to get out of the rock free mode, once you are free, does it disable automatically, or do you have to manually?
So two ways. You can either flip the switch again.
Okay.
It'll turn it off. Or if you're in drive, once you drive away and you shift from first to second, you're out of rock free.
Gotcha.
And you drive the truck will operate like it was before.
So it does it automatically if you want it to. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. These ruts keep getting bigger and bigger.
I see that. It's impressive when you get it from inside the truck. It doesn't look like as much, but.
All right, so go into drive. This truck has a feedback. This light here is actually like the feedback.
Okay, I couldn't see that.
Yeah, it's hard. So you gotta go ahead and flip that switch again. And now you're in rock free. So you can let your foot off the brake. There's no urge to move now. And then as you hit the throttle pedal, it'll engage.
catch it at just the right point where it doesn't.
Yeah. You may want to pull. You can pull a little farther forward if I get the front wheels in too. Either way.
I don't see how you keep from popping the drive lines on these. I mean, they've got to be massive.
I think they are pretty stout, but I mean, so far in all of our testing, we haven't dropped the drive line or an axle.
Wow.
That's one of the big benefits of the AMT is we help control the driveline torque. You don't have someone doing, you know, first gear in an 18-speed manual, doing things that will over torque the driveline.
We're spinning. I mean, being able to stop on that 15% with that heavy haul, 145,000, put it in reverse and it not move, except going backwards up the hill and not twisting anything, that to me was just, that's amazing that you all are able to do that.
And it's just a lot of the integration work between us and the brake system. You know, we know how much torque we're putting through the driveline with the, our clutch control on there, and then we also know how much torque it takes to actually hold the vehicle or launch it up the grade based off of the grade, the weight, things like that.
Okay.
And so you have that nice clean handoff between the brakes and the clutch. So you're not rolling back, you're not loading up the clutch real hard with a lot of torque and then popping off the brakes and getting kind of lunging forward. And that real seamless handoff is one of those big benefits of what we can do.
Take it out of, do you need to stop to change modes?
You don't. You could leave it in here if you want, or you could go back to performance, but you do not have to. You have to hold up for 4 seconds.
4 seconds, okay.
And then C2 will go away. There you go.
There we go. All right.
You can just kind of head back.
Okay.
Around here.
But being able to do all that on the fly without having to come to a complete stop is something different too.
Right. And there's other ways, you can have it set up. This truck's set up to, it'll only go back to the primary performance goal, either if the driver asks for it like you did, or if you key cycle.
Okay. Key cycle, it goes automatically to a default, right?
Yeah, right back to primary.
Yep.
But you can also have it set up, we have different, cutoff criteria where you could set it off of I think it's a timer or speed.
Okay.
So you could say, hey, I only want to be in my secondary performance goal below 30 miles an hour.
Right.
And if my driver goes above 30 miles an hour, it'll transition back over to the primary. This kind of case wouldn't be a bad use case for that.
Right.
A dump truck and say, or even a wrecker, say, really above 30 miles an hour, I don't need to be.
No, you don't need
highway.
You don't need the off highway at 30 mile an hour.
Yeah, I mean you can. It'll drive fine, but it's not going to have the same feel as your performance calibration would. So you want to go almost to the fender, the railing up there.
Okay.
We'll stop. We'll throw it in reverse.
On the gravel?
Yeah, the gravel, and we'll just go back.
Okay.
And do some upshifts in reverse.
So this is more like the roads at home.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be upset they've got to wash the trucks again.
Yeah. Overnight we were getting a bunch of pollen on the trucks and everything already. So
no.
Yeah. They were all clean yesterday and this morning they're already kind of dusty. So going through it in reverse. This truck I think is set up to go the default to R2. That's just how this truck's configured.
R2. D2? Never mind. Sorry.
I gotcha.
Sorry, Star Wars nerd.
So go ahead and reverse. Once you get a little higher engine speed, go ahead and pull up on the shift stalk. So now you're at an R3. Same thing. Now you go if you want, pull up again. This is the big step here, R3 to R4.
Oh yeah.
And you can keep going to R6 if you want to.
No, but no, I'm good. But no, it's just because in that rotator that I've got, it's like 73,000 pounds, and to go into high reverse, it's really difficult to split it in that 18 speed because you got to get it rolling first, and then if you don't hit it just right, it doesn't. Anyway,
Well, it's a big split.
It is.
I forget off the top of my head. It's a 200-something% split.
So then, can you tap it down and go back?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
You can, one other thing too, you can do the creep shifts in reverse too. Like you've seen the creep shifts in drive. So if you go stop and go all the way to R1, so just let your foot off the brake and do the urge to move. It'll launch. And then here, pull up on the shift stalk without touching anything else. And do R2. So it'll change and
It's just creeping along.
Yep.
Yep.
And same thing in drive. You can do the same thing in drive. You know, start whatever your start gear is, if it's
Yep.
first or fourth, whatever it may be, and then you could.
Foot is not on the pedals of any kind. So you can do that in drive as well. Now, how do we get it down in?
You could just push down the shift stalk and go to first gear if you want to. But we know with this weight, this grade, the engine we have in here, fourth gear is more than enough to launch a truck.
Yep.
Then you can pull up on the shift stalk if you want now. It'll go to third. And depending on what kind of job you're doing,
Right.
it lets you kind of creep along at different speeds.
I could see a huge benefit to that.
Then you just want to drive.
Then you
drive away.
just take off and go.
Yeah.
That's cool. I know it's nothing new to you guys, but this is, I mean, the tech is amazing.
Well, that's why, I enjoy coming out here and work with you guys who come out and, see this for the first time, because a lot of drivers, young drivers, they're skeptical. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't blame them. I mean, you've controlled your own gears for so long, and you may or may not have been, bitten by, other products, other, automated products, but these have come a long way.
Yeah. This is light years beyond anything automatic that I've driven, and I've had other automatics. Not putting anybody down, just saying that this is light years beyond any of that.
I mean, our goal is to do as bad or worse than you guys are going to do.
Okay.
That's, between all the work we do here, we try to do on the road, go on trips either out east, out west, up north for cold, heavy, light, all that kind of stuff. We try to put up in all the conditions the best we can.
Right.
To simulate what you guys will do. There's certain things that we can't do ourselves. I mean, the wrecker's a good example. It'd be very difficult for us to get a wrecker body on one of our trucks, and it'd be hard for us to use it a lot like you guys do. So that's why we work with people like, Roberts to get the field test truck.
Right, right.
They put 110,000 miles on that truck in less than a year and a half.
Wow.
And get good feedback, and they test the hardware, test the software, test our calibrations, and then we'll, you guys use it like you would every day. You can use it for making money. And if it's not doing what you guys need to, we get the feedback there and try to, incorporate that back into our next release to make sure it's
enhance the product, make it better for the end user.
Right.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ethan and I are finished here in Michigan. We are packing up and getting ready to head home. We've got about a 9-hour drive. We've had an absolutely wonderful time up here. We want to say a special thank you to Eaton Cummins Corporation and the people from Miller Industries. We spent the day out at Eaton's test track in Marshall, Michigan. Got to drive some wonderful equipment, really putting the new Eaton Endurant XD Pro transmission to the test. Fell in love with it, honestly, and hope you guys enjoy this set of videos. I know it's a little bit different for our channel, but it still revolves around the towing and recovery industry in many, many ways. As always, thank you for watching, and God bless.